But yeah, thanks for sharing. It makes me want to attend our local Ren Fair. Do it. Do it. I'm all about telling people to do it. I got to tell you at least some of the stories about my mask here. Again, I made this specifically for this fair. I made it so that I could be pretty in the sun and sparkle, and I don't know. It worked very well. It made quite the impression. Everyone loved it. I had a lot of people stop by and tell me that they liked it, and it was very cool. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Um, a lot of people asked me if I was selling them, and I just said no. I really, I don't know. Obviously, of course, it occurred to me it would be a cool thing. I'm sure people would buy this, but like, yeah, there's a cat here. Hi. Um, I'm sure people would buy things like this, and I'm sure people would be very satisfied with buying things like this, but I don't know that I want to spend my time making them. You know what I mean? Um, like, I love making things, and I will never stop making things, but I want to, like, make a different thing every time. I'm not super interested in getting into having a product line that I'm busting out a whole bunch of and selling, like, you know, a bunch of these specifically. Or even masks, or even foam things specifically. I just want to make things with a capital T. Uh, so yeah, people were asking me if I was selling them. They're asking me what my Etsy store is, and I was just like, I just made this to be here and be cool and look pretty. That was the whole purpose behind it. One person towards the end was asking me about it and you know, asking if I had an Etsy store, and I said no, and do you want to make these? And I was like, not really. You should make one. So I take it off, and every time someone came by and asked me about it, and started asking questions or showing interest in it, I would take it off and I'd show them what the inside looks like, which I can't. The light in here probably isn't great to be shown. Well, that's not too bad. But you can see, it's foam. It's EVA foam and hot glue and vinyl on top. And some people were very surprised at how light this is. Like, this weighs nothing. This is nothing. The buckles on here are half the weight in here. Because it's 5mm foam and vinyl and nothing else. So yeah, so I described to people as quickly as I could how I made it. It was originally a papercraft pattern, which I also have here. Yeah, here. Okay, so here, this is the original. This is what I bought. I bought this from a website called Wintercraft. I should know that for sure. They are selling this pattern for like 10 and some change or something like that. Let me see if I can find it. Is that Wintercraft? Yeah. Here it is. Okay. myshopify.com? That's not the same place I bought it from. Etsy. Yeah, Wintercraft on Etsy. Here. I'll just link it. Here you go. I can do that. There's my credit. That's where this papercraft came from. So all the cool designiness of it, I didn't even do. People were like, I had someone compliment like all the angles on it. It's like, I didn't even do that part. That's what someone else did that. Someone did the hard part for me. Because designing the patterns, I think, would be a bit of an ordeal. You kind of got to know what you're doing for that. But I bought the pattern, I made the papercraft itself, and then basically used this as my pattern. I printed out another set of the papercraft just on cardstock and didn't assemble it, and then used all of the, all these triangles, all these panels, all these polygons, just used those as a template to cut out that same shape in foam. Meh. And glued them all together. Yeah, thank you. It's very, very effective. And I was worried about it being, more fiddly than it was, or more difficult than it was, but it was quite easy. Like I had a pair of sturdy scissors, so uh, and I was just cutting, marking on the foam what my shape was supposed to look like and cutting it with scissors, but then holding the scissors at an angle as I made the cut, so that you had these kind of undercuts on all the pieces, and then that was kind of the gap that the hot glue goes into. So the top edges, you can imagine, I don't know, something like, I don't know how to show this. You have your foam edges coming away like this. So at the top point here, that's the surface you're seeing. So you can make that top line look real crisp, but then you just have this kind of channel underneath, and you just fill it with hot glue. You just splooge all over in there. And you can kind of tack things together and make sure you get all your angles correctly, get a handful of them into a clump, so that, that you're making sure that, all of your pieces are fitting together real nice. And then you just come back and fill in all those channels with hot glue. And it worked perfectly. And then use the same papercraft pattern. Hi, excuse you. Use the same papercraft pattern and just cut out all of the same shapes in vinyl, and then kind of gave it, a little bit extra, gave it a 1/16 or an 1/8 of an inch on all sides, so that there's some overlap over the corners. And then just pop, slapped them all on. Did it all in one big color, and then came back with the detail color. So there's, this purple color covers the whole thing. And then I just cut myself some strips out of this color and figured out a cool design to do. This was all impromptu. Just what looks good. I'll do that. That works. Send a photo to the person you bought the pattern off. That's a good idea. I should definitely do that. I don't really want to sell, like, I wouldn't want to sell this specifically without, like, getting permission from the person who made the pattern. Like, that would feel a little rough to me. Because obviously I made the item, but I didn't make the pattern. My friend used to make Pokemon terrariums, and it was okay for her, as she could be a bit creative on each one. But yeah, it's different. Yeah, just a like little terrarium, little display things are excellent for that. Just make one of everything. Make something different every time. Absolutely. Yeah, Pokemon terrariums. I feel like I've seen that or similar from a couple different people, and they're always very good. It's a very cool project to do. And link, yes. Link your things. Link your friends' things. If Nightbot doesn't like it, then I will approve it. But yeah, link it. There you go. Yeah, that works. Now I have to look too. Oh, these are cool. Oh, these are very good. Oh, the Wooloo. Oh my goodness. Yeah. See, like, it's just good. It's just so good. The detail on these is fantastic. I've seen some simplified ones, which are also cool, but these are... I love all the vegetation in them. The snubble. Yeah, look at that. Yeah, see? Good stuff. Good stuff. I appreciate that. Deoxys. Creature's having some fun over there. Oh, and the gems with the Deoxys. Oh, yes. Yes. Yeah, if you're watching the VOD and can't click on the link or something, it's Pokeminx, Pokieminx. You should be able to search for that on Etsy and find it. This is good stuff. I approve. What was I talking about? Oh, yes, but so people were asking me if I'm going to make them to sell them, and my answer was no. And one person in particular came up and was asking, and I was just like, you should, if this interests you, you should do it. Because everyone who came up and asked me, like, a whole bunch of people said, hey, I like the mask. Oh, great mask. I love the mask. That happened quite a bit. But then if anyone asked any follow-up questions or engaged any past that initial compliment, the question was always, did you make that? Which is an amazing question. And it's amazing to be able to say, yes, I made that. I made this. It's amazing. Look at me be amazing. And that was one of the coolest experiences of the whole fair, was to be able to walk around in this very pretty thing. The light in here does not do it justice. Like, the way that this shines in the sun is perfect. Like, and I made it for that purpose. I made this with the image of being in a forest with the sun shining on me, and it reflecting in kind of a weird gemstony, facety way, but with a very sparkly purple. I wonder if I can get some more of the detail in there. Yeah, look at this. And just me having it on my head and moving around and bobbing my head to all the music that I'm listening to, because that's all I'm doing. The way that it catches the light is amazing, and it worked perfectly. Like, that's what I wanted. That was the goal, and it worked. And then everyone complimented me, and that was amazing. And making money off a craft is cool and all, but I am much more interested in that experience of existing in a space and doing a thing and contributing to the space in that kind of creative manner, and not being there for the purpose of making a sale. You know what I mean? I had the thought halfway through, is like, I should have a card to at least have my name on and have people see me and be able to follow me. But even then, that felt kind of, that's not why I was there. I was there to be in the space and have the experiences that you can have there in that space, and have the very limited temporal spatial experience that's limited to then and there, and exist with those people and help them have a great experience too, because last time I was there, they were the reason I had a great experience, so I wanted to help them have a great experience. So I'm much less interested in making money off of doing something like this, and I would rather people do it themselves. Like Luigi would be pretty cool. I've had the thought too, like, you could do all sorts of licensed stuff, but as soon as you could just make a Luigi and no one's going to complain. But as soon as you start trying to sell a Luigi, things get way weirder, and I'm not interested in doing that. So if you want to do one, you should do one. That's the ultimate upshot of all this. Someone was very interested, and I was like, just do it. I showed her what it was. She was like, "Is this EVA foam?" I was like, "Yes, you already know. You're halfway there already. If you know what EVA foam is, you have half the knowledge you need to make this, and the rest of it is just patience and attention to detail, and that's all it is. That's all it is." So I was encouraging everyone who asked me, "Did you make this?" I said yes, and I got a very good feeling out of that admiration that they were giving me, but I also got a very good feeling out of impressing upon people how attainable that is. Like, it's not like I'm some amazing god tier crafter. There are errors in here. There are things in here that don't look good if you pay that close attention. But you'd never know, because if you do something bizarre and brilliant and outrageous like this, your eyes, and especially if it's just someone walking by, your eyes do not have the time to look that critically. You're just seeing the whole thing right at once, and it's right up in your face, and it's shiny, and it's amazing, and then it's gone. And that's the experience, and I think that's perfect. So more of that. Anyway, I could talk about that kind of stuff literally forever. If you have any interest in going on a journey like this, even something not like this, if you're on a crafting journey and you want to be making stuff and you want to talk to other people who are making stuff, who enjoy making stuff, get in my Discord. I want to see what you're working on. I want to brainstorm on whatever you're stuck on. I want to learn whatever you're doing. If you're doing something that I've never done before, I want you to tell me about it, and I want you to teach me, and I will teach you everything that I know. That's what I want. I want people making things, and I would rather inspire you to make a thing that is similar than for me to make something to sell you. That's ultimately where I land. So yeah, which ultimately means you should subscribe because I ain't making money off Etsy. That's for dang sure. All I do is lab work and play games, which is not very creative, but that's fine. Everyone should have a creative outlet. I'm a firm believer of that. Don't have a single creative bone in my body. Lies. Here to lay my eyes on the cool stuff you guys make. Seriously. I was Kurt Vonnegut. I don't think I'm going to be able to find an actual quote. It was an interview. I'm remembering an interview of with Kurt Vonnegut that I was listening to. It was like at the end of a book that I was listening to an audiobook, and they tacked an interview on the end. And he was talking about how everyone's an artist. Everyone should be an artist. That means like anything, whether or not like making physical objects is a kind of art, but it's not the only kind of art. If you want to like learn music, learn to play the piano, learn to play the guitar, learn to sing, learn to play the kazoo, learn to make weird foam things, learn to paint by numbers, do it. So I'm here to tell you that you have those bones. You just need to do it, and you have that capacity within you. Artistically avoid doing art. Yeah, okay. Like I get that. Yeah, art positivity. Yeah, I'm here for it. What was I gonna say? Even if you are not undertaking like a creative profession, and you're not trying to, like, even if you don't want to show your art to people, even if you don't want to be creative in a way that is external, and you just want to, like, everyone should nurture that inclination to be creative, even if it's within a non-creative work, doing lab work or doing office work or being a doctor. I don't know. Everything has that aspect where you can be creative in it, and if you practice outside of there, if you have some explicitly artistic practice where you're painting by numbers, something super simple. Go like follow the rules, go by the book, go find the tutorials. Just do something that someone has already done and copy them. I guarantee you do that a couple times, you will start finding inspirations, you will start finding things that you can weave into your daily life. You will find the whimsies that you want to chase. And when you do, it's an amazing feeling. When something occurs to you and you go, that would be cool. And then you can picture it in your head and you're like, I think this would be cool. And then you make the cool thing. Is so satisfying. And then everyone gets to see it and appreciate it. Even if you're not showing it off, it is very satisfying to take something that is in your head and make it be a thing. And you can toss it in the fireplace immediately afterwards, and it exists only inside your head, and that's totally fine. I highly encourage this. Highly encourage this. Yeah, that's the end of that rant. So yeah, if you are an artist and you're doing amazing things, I want to see it. If you're not an artist and you're just figuring things out and you're like, what the heck do I do? I want to see it too. I want you to stick around in some capacity. Tag me on Mastodon or be in my Discord or talk to me in chat. I don't care. I just want to know what you're doing. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. I am feeling very recharged right now. I've taken a whole week off of work. I haven't answered a single freaking email in a week. I feel so amazing about that. The forest has recharged me. I get to, like, I feel a little silly standing here in front of a fake tree all the time. Every time I'm here doing stuff with you, I'm in a very artificially space here, but getting out to go into the forest and, you know, letting my phone just be in the backpack for a little while and go out and have an adventure and not worry about it. It's so nice. So yeah. I've regained some parts of me. I will say. I got hundreds of hours worth of videos to practice editing and never shared a second except with my brother for feedback. Yeah, totally. Yeah, video editing is another great example. That is absolutely a creative endeavor. That is absolutely art. Even if you didn't film a single second of what you're editing, the editing process itself is a creative endeavor. And if you do it, then you know. But if you haven't, then no. Then that there's creative decisions that you're making throughout that whole process, and those little decisions, like I don't know, what kind of a transition do you use? How long do you stay in a cut? How long? What parts do you overlap with other things? The flow of the whole thing, the whole structure of the thing, that's a whole thing, and those things will translate. You will be able to take thoughts that you've taken from video editing and apply those to something completely different, and it won't even be like explicit. It'll just be like, oh yeah, I'm doing this because this is I made this decision on another thing, and like the equivalent decision worked there, so I'm gonna do something similar here, and you're gonna try it, and it might work and it might not, and you'll learn from it, and it's a great experience. Anyway, that's me talking about art stuff. This Wintercroft site is kind of amazing too. I want to make. There might be more of these. Not this specifically. Maybe not the deer skull, but like some of these patterns are very cool. There was a bird, like a bird beak, a bird skull kind of a situation that I think would make something very cool too. But a lot of it's like not just skulls, but animal heads. Like there's a big boar head here. There's a dragon head. There was like a fish one where you have like a fish head, but then like a bunch of sections behind you. You could do like a big Gyarados or something. Just have a headdress going back down your head, painted up like Gyarados. Not paint, but the vinyl worked very well. Painting would be tricky. Like the vinyl hid a whole bunch of my errors in the hot glue. So part of it is just being wise about your tactics and your strategies, and knowing what's going to be hard. Like I could have fiddled with this for a very long time and tried to make all of the foam and the hot glue perfect and get perfect crisp lines out of it, but it didn't matter because once you put the vinyl on, it hides like 3/4 of it. It don't matter. So there's all sorts of weird goopiness with the hot glue and unevenness, especially with the antlers. Like the antlers are kind of not symmetrical at all, but no one cares. It doesn't show up at all to a passerby. So yeah. Oh yeah, like this big dragon skull. This would be amazing. Yeah, let's do this. Uh-huh. And there, that goes there. And then I can turn on display capture again. Yeah. Hey, look at this. Like imagine this, but like bright orange, right? There's so many possibilities here. Stormrube makes a highly detailed Gundam figures. Yeah, totally. And maybe we'll do something similar to that, less complicated. That's a great, like those kits. Kits are great. Go buy a kit. Like just because someone made instructions on how to do something doesn't mean it's not creative. It scratches the itch. And it scratches the itch in like a safe environment because you know what's coming next. When you're doing something like this where you're just kind of off the road and figuring things out as you go, then it's a little more nerve-wracking if you don't have the confidence to do it. But if you get yourself a kit, then yeah, it's, I don't know, there's that kind of safety aspect to it that someone else has tread this path before, and you know what you're doing, and it's just as satisfying. Like, look at this. This would be amazing. You can do like hands and stuff. I probably only have like hinges in there, and cool. That's very cool. That's probably very functional. Didn't even try making any moving parts. That's a whole other thing. Um, or like, yeah, just like this. Like, look at these patterns. Like this must be just drawn on the paper itself. Must be. Like, think of what this would look like if it were like shining in the sun. Like this, my god. Or giant Jabberwock. Oh, that's sick. Made out of cardboard. See, like, it looks that good made out of cardboard. Think of what you could do to it. Think of how you can just make it pop. Oh, like, look at yes. Someone should do this. Like, there's so many good possibilities here. There's no way I'm gonna like plumb the full depths of these. Someone should just do it. Like this, you could just go fully abstract. Who the hell cares? Cost like a week of my life, yeah. But I mean, just do it. You can just do it slowly. Things like the Gundam kits, you can come back to. You're just finish a leg, come back a week later. Like I sprinted through this. This thing took quite a few hours. I was not keeping track of the hours that I spent on it because I knew I was going to be depressed if I did. But it took me a good 2 weeks or so with all my free time, which was considerable. Like a Medusa, like these. Yeah, you can see where I got. Did I buy a pack? No, I didn't. I only spent $10. But like, yeah, you could do a bird skull. An ox, I guess is what that would be. Yeah, like this would be perfect. This would be perfect to do in exactly the same way. And I guarantee you, if you have a music festival you want to go to, or just some outdoor event, or even indoor event for that matter, but like the sun thing is like what really made this pop. And this would be like, this is way simpler than this pattern too. Like the antlers were the hard part of this. So doing this without the antlers, this would not take very long. This would be way easier than you think it would be to turn into something like this. And it'd be great. You could do the exact same strap thing. This is just a nylon strap, and it's kind of fastened in there with some sewing and hot glue. And then I need to strap it in the back, and it stays. Like I was dancing with this thing on, and it was fine. Yeah, I don't know. If I haven't convinced you yet, then I don't know what to say. These are all, and look how many there are. Like, there's a whole thing here. You could do a dog. You could do crab claws. You could do couples things. You could do, like, group stuff. Here's the fish. Like, why not? Why couldn't you do this? Animal skull headdress. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Just yes. Just yes. Say yes. On a toucan? This would be very popular. You do this shiny version of a toucan with all the shiny colors. Maybe like I don't know, do something for the wings with all the colors in there. Very, very good. Sci-fi robot. I would love to learn how to make my own patterns. Like, that seems difficult. The actual making of these patterns seems difficult. I haven't actually tried that. But now maybe I will. Oh, look at these. Oh, these are cool. Obviously not papercraft, but also very cool. These are maybe less so these. These would be a little less impressive done up like that, but it's hilarious. I love it. Anyway, that's kind of all I had to regale you with at the moment. I think there's special software these things makes printouts based on the model. That makes sense. I mean, yeah, if you had a 3D model, it should be pretty simple, right? But there's plenty of things that I would love to make that just don't have a 3D model at all. How do you go from scratch? How do you just go from the idea to making the shape? Because I'm not very good at 3D modeling. I've tried it. I have a tiny bit of experience with it, but not enough to actually do anything that I would like in that capacity. So that's a whole skill. You model it in there. Interesting. Interesting. Yeah. You'd still have to be good at that part. That's a skill set. But again, a skill set that can be built. There's no reason you can't. There's all sorts of tutorials out there. I'm sure there's a tutorial for that specific program even. Elephant would be very cool with like a reticulated trunk like that. Like, bob around and have it move around. Yes, do that. Anyway, when I ran out of things to talk about, I was thinking of playing some Jackbox Party Pack. Does anyone want to do that? Anyone want to play a game with me? So yeah, then we played Jackbox for like 2 hours. If you want to watch that, it's going to be in a different video. I'll just put it up in the next slot in the playlist, and it's just going to be right over there. It should be on screen or something. But that's the end of this video. Please go click the buttons. You know where they are. I'd love to see you come by live, and yeah, stay kind.